Hey folks, welcome back to Dan's Auto Diagnostics and Repair. Today I'm actually in Sebastian, Florida, and I'm here to pick up my bike. This is a 1996 Honda Goldwing 1500, GL1500 Aspencade. And I thought I was just gonna have to maybe jump it, give it a little prime of fuel, and off I go. But that wasn't the case at all. I got in here. Oh, hold on. Hey, got a little chicken. Look at that. Just like home. All the way in Florida. Still can't get rid of the chickens. But that's okay. They're my friends. All right. Back to the bike. So I got the bike out of a friend's pole barn back there where I've stored it over a year now. And got to it, no clutch whatsoever, battery's completely dead. So I jump it, it's kicking over, it's not firing up. So as you can see, I got this off because I was getting down to the fuel filter and all that. And then I come over here and I try to pull the clutch. Absolutely nothing. So then I come over here, I take this off. It's bone dry, out of fluid. So I take the cover off, I fill it with fluid, try to pump it up, nothing. Now down here, there's a, I don't have my flashlight right now, but I'll get it later. There's a little bleeder. That's a bleeder screw for the slave cylinder for the clutch. I bled it, no go. So I went and ordered a slave cylinder, a rebuild kit, and a clutch master cylinder rebuild kit. That'll be in tomorrow, and we're gonna replace all that stuff. But today we're gonna try to get all this out and prep it, get it ready to go. All right, got my light. I'll take you down to the bleeder screw there. Now I took a plane here, so I don't have any kind of a tripod, but right in there, that's the dust cap. I'll take that off. Oh man, kind of difficult already, huh? Sorry about that. There it is, there's the dust cap off the bleeder screw. So there's the bleeder screw right underneath the alternator there. So I tried bleeding that, no go. So we're going to start taking the clutch master cylinder off and the slave cylinder. Apparently I wasn't going to film this because I thought it was going to run. But anyway, I have a bracket here, and there's two bolts and 2 bolts on the other side, and that just takes the seat right off. The seat's there, and I took this off here. I'm just gonna kind of hang that over the side. There was 2 nuts that held that on right there, and then it just clips into the side. Before that, you do have to take off this plate, and that just pops right off. The hole in it goes over the ignition, just like that. Just trying to get you up to speed because I did not film this at all. I didn't plan on doing that. So that's where we're at now. I did take the fuel line off because it was getting absolutely no fuel. That filter was bone dry. I blew through it both ways. You can do that. I'm going to take that, I got a small filter and a gas can down there. I'm going to go ahead and prime this. Just take a little small filter, prime it, and hopefully that'll start. Now, like I said, I did have a dead battery, so I went and replaced the battery. I got a new one right there. We'll put that in. Going on the other side of the bike here, that's where the battery goes. You just take off the covers that I've already took off. I got those in the trunk. Battery goes there, and we're going to put that back in and try to fire that up. Alright, like I said, I don't have a tripod, so I'm gonna do the best I can. Put that key over there. There's the fuel pump. That's the fuel pump, and there's the inlet line to the tank. I'm gonna just take a little funnel, and I'm just gonna prime that and see if it can't fire up. But I'm gonna put the battery in first. All right, there's the battery. There's the part number. Echo Tango X-Ray 18 Lima. It is a Super Start Power Sport AGM battery from O'Reilly's. Let's get that off. Put it up here. A lot of this is going to be difficult, but I'm one-handed, so I'm going to have to do this off camera. I got the battery in. Positive cable went on top, and the negative cable was more comfortable on the bottom there. Not really sure what this is. It might be something I put in there a while ago. I don't know. But battery's in. I just got to get the that cover on there, protect it, get it, and get the strap on it. But before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and prime this with fuel and see if we can start it. You can see you got the fuel just sitting in there in the funnel. So this is acting like the fuel tank now. So let's see. Key in, turn it on. Battery looks good and healthy. Choke is on. It looks like she swallowed all that fuel, so I'm gonna get some more in there. All right, let's try it again. All right, she's sucking it down. Running. Turn that off real quick. She fired right up. Very nice. I'm gonna prime it a little bit, get her running again, and eventually hook up that hose and that filter to the back up to the tank. There we go again. High idle. Uh-oh. Wait a minute, better turn this off. We got fuel. What's happening here? Why we got fuel here? I don't know what the deal is with that. I'm gonna have to look into that. Alright, it was just coming out of this tube here. So I'm just gonna hook up everything back to normal and run her again. Don't want to kill the new battery. First time I heard it run since I've been back. A little over a year. Alright, I reconnected that hose. Did it all by hand, didn't even need any tools. I got the little fuel filter back in there. Just turn her back on. See what we got. Well, that's not promising. Choked it again. Oh boy. Oh, I turned it off, yeah. Okay, here's a run. There she is. Turn the choke down. High idle. She lives. That's one problem solved. Now I gotta wait for the clutch parts to come in. Slave cylinder and master cylinder rebuild kit. And then hopefully we can actually put her in gear. I'll see you when that happens. Now I got a good battery. Missing some of the the number there, 13.6. Charging good. You can hear it surging a little, but it's always done that. I just need to clean the carbs out and that. Just never got around to that. Probably should have checked the oil before I fired it up, but okay, you gotta check the oil right here. Yeah, she looks like she's got plenty. I'll wipe her off here. Check her again. Can't really see all that good, but yeah, she won't focus. She looks good. Now we're going to check the radiator fluid. And how you do that is right up in here. Right down in here, there's a little plug right between the handlebars there. You pull that little plug out. It's got a little dipstick on it. Probably can't see it good, but that looks good too. Now that you know everything's all as well with the battery, this is the little hold down bracket. You just kind of hook it at the top there, and then there's just a screw at the bottom, holds it in just like that. I have very limited tools as usual. Obviously I can't bring all my tools on the plane. I only had one backpack full of stuff, and now I'm here trying to do rebuild on a clutch and a master cylinder, so we'll see. So wrench bag, got a few odds and ends in there, a few sockets deep well, some Allen wrenches, another screwdriver, a few more sockets, and that's all I got to work with. I've taken all my panels out of the trunk to get to the two side handles that actually hold the seat on. They go here and here, and I need to put those back on to put it on the center stand, because that clutch slave cylinder's way back here, and I don't know if I can get this camera underneath here and show you guys, but yeah, right there, that is the slave cylinder. That's where I have to get. I've got to take that off, 3 bolts, and then another bolt to hold down the bleeder tube. That bleeder tube I showed you in there, like a 10mm bolt back there. And I think the only way I'm going to get to that is to get this thing up on the center stand and try to get at it from there. Well, there she is on the center stand. I got the side stand up now. That's the center stand. I had to put this seat bracket on there temporarily so I could have somewhere to grab and tip this thing up. It's a heavy bike. First I gotta get this master cylinder off. I might be able to get away with just doing the slave cylinder, I don't know, but I ordered both, so there's a banjo bolt right back in here. Then I can get off the hydraulic line there, and then there's just 2 bolts, Allen wrench right in here and here, and that should take this off. There's the clamp, the 2 bolts, and then there was these little spacers in between too, and then that's loose now. That'll come off. Just got to sneak it past these wires. When you pull your banjo bolt out for your hydraulic line from the master cylinder, you're going to have 2 little crush washers on each side. Hopefully they come in the kit. I'm not really sure, but there that is. There's also a little hole in there. There's your hole. You want to make sure that's all cleaned out and can flow fluid. Brought it out here to the light so you can see it. You can see that hole right there. and there's a hole right through it that flows fluid. So make sure all them passages are clear. I put my finger over where the banjo bolt was, and then I'm pulling the lever, and I'm getting a lot of good pressure, so that might be okay in there. I might just concentrate on the slave cylinder for now. We're going after the slave cylinder now, and there's this metal pan that's in the way. It looks like it's probably 3 10mm bolts on each side, and it doesn't seem like there's anything in the front, so 3 10mm bolts on each side, and I should be able to gain access in there. Of course, the first one broke. And it's probably going to be the theme here. Surprisingly enough, none of these broke on this side. So just one broke. Going bad, better than I thought. All right, that's all of them. All right. See if we can see that any better. There's our prize up in there. Ooh. Well, we got better access anyway. Now once I take that line off, it's going to drain, so I'm going to use a dustpan, because it's all I can find, as a drip pan. We'll see if I can get you a shot. I don't know. And that's probably about all I can get you a shot of. I took the hydraulic line off, and she's draining into the pan. And you see all that crud right there? That's all dried up brake fluid that had been leaking from that master, or that slave cylinder. Look at all that. All that nasty stuff. Alright, I got all 3 bolts out of this thing. I'm going to try to get it off. I'm grabbing it up top by the bleeder tube. I'm wiggling it, trying to get it out of there. It's not coming off. Oh, there it is. There it is. Look at all that nasty shit. Oh yeah. Well, there it is. We gotta clean all that out. Take that piston out of there, take the seals out of there, and then get the rebuild kit in. I'm sure it doesn't look much better up in the bike either, so I'll have to take a pick or something like that and get that out of there too. Clean it up real good and put it back together. While I was at the parts store, I bought me some cleaning brushes and some brake clean. I'm gonna need it to get all this junk out of here. I got out that center seal. It goes right in there. You can see there's a bunch more gunk back in there. Wish I had my tripod so I could get you guys better shots, but all the way in Florida, I don't have any of my stuff. Well, I finally got the piston out of there. Boy, that was seized. I was hammering on it, banging, but now I finally got it out of there. I don't have any air here, so I couldn't blow into that. A lot of times you can just take an air tip, blow on that side, and then boom, that out it'll come. But wasn't the case for me. Let's clean it up. I took out the bleeder screw from the bleeder tube there. And I'm just gonna clean that up. Take the wire brush to it, or a little scrub brush here. I already took some brake clean to that. I'm gonna spray some brake clean down in there. Make sure these lines are clean. When I was trying to bleed it, it was bleeding pretty good through this line, so I think it's pretty clear, but I'm gonna clean it anyway and clean up this piston. Take the seal off and spring and get ready for the kit. Well, there it is, all cleaned up, sprayed down. I got the inside here just as smooth as I can get it. Kept on scrubbing it down and wiping it until I felt absolutely no burrs or any kind of garbage in there. It's a nice smooth bore. I did the piston the same way. See some discoloration, but it feels real smooth right there. I'll probably take a Scotch-Brite pad or something like that and just rub it down one more time before I put it in and get the kit on. Now I'm going to go underneath the bike and clean where the there's actually a piston rod in there that this slave cylinder pushes the clutch with. So I'm going to pull that out of there, and all the gunk that might be laying in there, clean that out, and that's all I can do today. Try to get you a shot in there, but not working out. But it is nasty. There's the push rod I was talking about. I just brushed that up, cleaned it up. Now that's it. It was pretty nasty in there. Cleaned it out the best I could. So now we wait for the new parts. I'll see you when they get here. Alright, so a couple days later, we had this overnighted in. So we got our clutch slave cylinder parts. We're going to start getting on the bench here and putting it together. Alright, first, we go ahead and pour a little brake fluid in here. Just get everything all nice and coated with fluid so that the seals go in there and seal nice. You got a little chamfer on the outside here that allows you to put the seal in a lot easier. A little more brake fluid, coat everything. We'll get our new seals. Try to open this without losing anything. So it comes with our spring. Comes with a little assembly grease here. Our two copper washers for the hydraulic line, and then our seals. Big round one is our main piston seal, little one for the center of the outside of the piston, and then our little dust cover, which I think I'll use the original one instead of this one because this one's just a tad bit shorter than the original, so I'm going to use the original one. Alright, go ahead and lube a little bit of this up with some brake fluid too so we can get that seal on easier. As you can see, I got me a cameraman today, so I don't have to hold the camera. I'm going to go ahead and coat that seal real nice as well. As you can see, that this seal has a cup part. This cup part goes down in towards the piston. So there's your piston, there's the outside. So you want the cup side to go right on here. Just like that. There's the new spring. Put that new spring on right in the center there. Make sure you're nice and coated with the old brake fluid. And then get that on there as straight as you can. You don't want to go in crooked, so you don't want to mess up the gasket. So straight as you can. Just like that. And make sure she moves nice. She's not moving that nice for me. And I don't like that. See how that's hanging up just a little bit? I'm not sure why that's happening. That spring's supposed to spring that back no matter what. I think that'll be fine. I'm going to have hydraulic pressure in there. And I don't think it's going to come out any further than that anyway. That should be good. Now we're going to get on our center seal. A little more fluid. And then your push rod will go in the center of that there. That's just kind of like a dust boot. So that's how it'll go on the vehicle or the bike. I'm going to go ahead and lube the seal on this bleeder screw as well. I've already took a wire brush to that and cleaned that all up. Bleeder screw goes in and under the bleeder tube. And then we put it on the bike. Okay, here's the two differences between the bleeder screw covers. Here's the one that comes with, and this is the original. And this is why I'm not going to use the original one, or the new one, because it only covers that much, which is not that big of a deal, but I prefer it to cover that much. Good. All right, I did take some of this assembly lube here that the kit came with, and I just greased the outside here, just for a little extra mindset, I guess. You know, makes me feel better, and it'll keep some of the nasty dirt and dust out of there. It'll catch it before it goes down in there. But that's what we got. Let's go get it installed. Alright, that's the best shot I can give you of the new one installed. I wish I could have filmed it for you, but I don't have anything like a motorcycle stand. So let's top off that master cylinder and bleed it. Alright, now that the slave cylinder is in place, we're just going to take the cap off. We got our plastic part, we got our seal, and then we got our float. And we're just going to go ahead and top her off and start bleeding it. Alright, there's our bleeder screw. And that's a 10 millimeter. We're going to loosen that up and start bleeding it. Alright, we're bleeding it now. We're just pulling the clutch lever in and out, and you can see the bubbles. You can at least see the fluid coming through there. Just keep on going until you see no bubbles at all. Keep pulling it, and then when you feel a clutch and there's no bubbles, you're completely bled. Of course, as long as you bled it down at the slave cylinder as well. Alright, I'd say that's good. Let's top it off, cap it, and check it out. Alright, everything looks good. We got a good clutch. Just time for a test drive. There she is in all her glory. Well, I just took her back from the test ride, and she's fantastic. Clutch feels good, brakes feel good. Coming out of the storage for, I don't know, almost a year and a half now, and she runs great. So that's going to conclude this one. Hope you guys learned something. Hope you guys liked the video. So like, subscribe, share. Hit that bell to be notified of future videos, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.